Yes, Mataji. Coming.
Please take over, Mataji.
You want to hear? Hare Krishna. Thank you all for staying back. I know, I think there is a long gap in our parikrama, but we will try to resume. I'll just share my screen first. Yeah. Okay. We stopped here. Okay. So before we start our parikrama today, as we always do, we will seek blessings of Shri Panchatattva, Shri Nitai, Shri Gauranga and Nityananda, Shri Radha Madhav, Shri Narsinghadev, Srila Prabhupada, and all the acharyas and all the assembled devotees, and we will start our parikrama. So just a quick recap, because there is a long gap. We have seen 3 dweeps, like half of the 3rd dweep, Antardvip. There's a map. So we have started our parikrama here, Antardvip. So Antardvip represents Atma Nivedanam. Then we came to Simantadvip. Simantadvip shows Shravanam. Then Godrumadvip, I think Kirtanam. Yes, Kirtanam. And then today we will also see Madhyadvip. So in Antardvip, we have seen Yoga Peeth. The main place was Yoga Peeth, then Chaitanya Mat. Then in Simantadvip, we have seen Parvati and Gauranga Mahaprabhu's temple, and also Lord Jagannath, Rajapur Jagannath temple, and also Chandkazi Samadhi. We have seen that, and also Neelambar Chakravarti's house where Madan Gopal Diti was there. We have seen all that. And then we came to Godrumadvip. And Godrumadvip, we saw where Surabhi cow is eternally staying, like cow staying under a tree on this island. So we have seen that pastime of why it is called. Then we have seen Surabhi Kunj, where Bhakti Vinod Thakur was staying here before he moved to his house, Vananda Sukaja Kunja. I always get confused. Yeah, then we have seen his house. We have seen the pastime of Markandeya Rishi. And Swananda Sukada Kunja. So we have seen his house. Then we have seen Suvarna Vihar. If you remember the pastime of the king, where Gauranga Mahaprabhu came in his dream and he was wondering who is that Suvarna Varna, who is that golden complexion personality. So we have stopped here, and that King Suvarna Sen, he came as Buddhimantakan in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, and Buddhimantakan lived in Navadvip, and he was a very rich person, and he was the one who arranged the marriage ceremony of Vishnu Priya, the daughter of Sanatana Mishra. And he also constantly accompanied the Lord during the kirtans in Chandrasekhar Acharya's house. He's the uncle of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in his house, he was always there, and he would always bring all the decorations and do the settings. And he also would go to Jagannath Puri and visit Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Mahaprabhu was in Puri. So that ends about Suvarna Vihar. So in Godrumadvip, today we will go further and see the other place called So it's Amragat. It is mentioned also in this pastime in Adi Leela Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yes. So one day when the Lord was performing this Sankirtan, all the devotees were very tired, were very fatigued, they're hungry, and then they sat down. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, understanding that they're very hungry, so what will he do? He will plant a mango seed, and from that mango seed comes a huge mango tree. It didn't take years to grow, but it happened. It grew immediately, and the speciality of and almost 200 mango fruits had come, and if we eat just one fruit, everybody was feeling very satisfied. And the speciality of these is it doesn't have a seed or it doesn't have a skin. Very nice, juicy, what? Oh, background. Okay. Very nice, juicy mangoes. But now we don't have this tree, but there are lots and lots of mango groves are there here. So when we go there, we'll see a lot of
is that the tree?
Mango trees.
Is that the tree?
That's the mango. Okay, so that's the Amragat where Mahaprabhu planted the mango tree. And then we'll go to a very special temple called Harihara Kshetra. It is we all know Varanasi. Varanasi is the place where Lord Shiva is there. And Krishna, I think it's your school time.
Okay. And that's Shiva.
So bye. So Harihara Kshetra is also called as Maha Varanasi because it is said that if somebody is leaving body here at this place, Lord Shiva personally will recite the names of Gauranga in the ear of that person who is dying. So why there is half Vishnu and half Shiva? There is a pastime. So what happens was, it's on the eastern bank of, there is Alakananda river, but at present there's a very small portion of that river. We don't see it like a big huge river is not there. So what happened was, we know Mohini Murti form. So Lord Shiva gets so like after hearing about Mohini Murti, he gets a desire of seeing that form. So he comes to the place where Krishna was there with Parvati, and then Krishna, knowing the desire of Lord Shiva, he will show the form of Mohini Murti. This is mentioned, I think, in 8th canto, where Shiva gets attracted to the form of Mohini Murti, and then later he will be feeling very bad of why he did that. So what happened? Yes. So then when he was feeling bad, Krishna himself comes and he tells, you don't worry because you are my manifestation, and everything, whatever you do, how you act has a reason. So you don't have to feel bad. And Krishna tries to console him because he was feeling very bad on why he acted like that. So just to show that he's a manifestation, like Shiva came from Krishna. Is like to show that he's the manifestation of Krishna. It is like half Vishnu and half Shiva deity is there here. It said that this was found in a forest, this deity. And then later they started worshipping him here. I don't remember where I read, but I think in Mayapur, some article only I have read that this deity was found in a forest. And in this place, Lord Shiva is always dancing in ecstasy, saying the names of Gaura, 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 and Gaura. And he's explaining the glories of this place. Lord Nityananda also started in Nityananda Prabhu's parikrama with Jiva Goswami. He also started feeling very ecstatic. And he's offering Gaura Prema to all living entities. And at that time, Kailashapati Lord Shiva, invisibly, when Nityananda was explaining the pastimes to Jiva Goswami, he invisibly came and he also participated in hearing the glories of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And he also offered obeisance to Nityananda. So, and if you see here, like Shiva and Vishnu, so one side Lakshmi is there and one side Parvati is there. Towards the Shiva side, his consort Parvati is there. Towards the Vishnu side, Lakshmi is there. So that is the place Harihara Kshetra, and it is Maha Varanasi. And actually these deities were stolen in 1999 and they were not given back immediately because there was the court hearings, then a lot of, it took 2-3 years, and only in 2001 they were given back. So this is the deity. And as we said, and just now we have seen near this temple, there is this Alakananda river. So there is pastime. Jagadananda Pandit described this in Prema Vivarta. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here and he was in a very happy, joyful mood, and he went to this dense forest on the banks of Alakananda river, and then there was a parrot. The parrot was chanting the name of Gaura. The parrot was saying Gaura, 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 and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, why are you chanting my name? He asked, like, you have to chant the name of Radharani. She's the topmost, like she is the supreme mother, so you have to chant the names of Radharani, don't chant my names. But then Sukha says, that parrot, that Sukha parrot says, Vrindavan has transformed to Navadvip and Radha Krishna transformed to Gaurahari. So I will say the names of Gauranga. If you want, you can say the names, whatever you want, my dear Lord, like that she says. So that pastime also happened here, where that parrot was saying the names of Gaurahari. And then a very, very ancient temple. With Narsimhadev, if we see Narsimhadev, most of the temples are on hills or forests. Like if there is one in Simhachalam, in my state, temples like Simhachalam is on a hill. Ahobilam is in a forest and on a hill. And Mangalagiri, there's one temple. It is also on top of a hill. Then there is 2-3 other places also in local places in my state, where I see everything like he comes on a hill in a dense forest. So even here, there is a place called Devapalli or Narsimhapalli. Why Devapalli? Because what happened after Narsimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu, this happened in Satyayuga. So after Narsimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu, he came to this place and there was Mandakini river flowing. He will wash his hands and he will take some rest here. And knowing that the Lord has come here, all the devas, all the demigods will come here. And Vishwakarma, overnight, he built lot of houses for the demigods to stay. So that's why this is called as Devapalli, because all the demigods also came to this village. This is the deity of that Narsimhadev. And this is Hiranyakashipu. I don't know who made it. And then we will come to a place called Gauradaha. It is equivalent to Kalyadaman pastime, like Kalyadaha place, Kalyagat in Vrindavan. So this is also equivalent to that place. This is also described in Jagadananda Pandit's Prema Vivarta. So very beautiful pastime. So what happens was, one day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing his Sankirtan, and we have seen that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent a lot of time in Godrimadvip. Amongst all the other dweeps, he was present here for a longer time. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing Sankirtan and they were all tired. So they decided that they will take rest. So when they were doing Sankirtan, Govinda was playing Mridanga, there was Vasudeva Ghosh was chanting, and Vakreshwar Pandit was there, Gadadhar was dancing. All of them were mad in Gaura Prem. So, and the other name of Godrimadvip now is called as Gadi Gacha. Gadi Gacha village. So they came to this village, and this is also called as Gopapalli because a lot of Gopas. Palli is village, a lot of Gopas are there. So it's called as Gopapalli. So they entered here, and so they started resting under trees. They said, we will stop, we'll take a pause for some time. We will rest under the trees and then we will go. So then what happened? All the villagers started coming and giving him milk, yogurt, milk sweets, condensed milk they were offering. And one village by name Bhima Gopa, he came and he said, my mother's name is Shyama Goalini. So she served Sachi Mata, your mother, as her own mother. So my mother has a very good relationship and bondage with your mother. So for her, your mother is like a mother. That means you are my uncle because you will become a brother to my mother. So please come home. Please come home. He will request. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could not say no. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will go, and then as soon as he goes, that Shyama Goalini, she will hold the hands of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then she will ask, she will inquire how his mother is doing, like how Sachi Mata is doing. She will inquire, and Mahaprabhu replies saying that she's doing good. And then what happens? They will start eating prasadam. She will serve a lot of prasadam. They'll start eating. And then one Gopa named Ramadas Gopa, he will come and he will mention his problem. He has a problem. What is that? His cows are not drinking water in a lake. Sorry, I wrote milk. It's not milk, it's water. So the cows, there was one lake, Daha is lake. So they're not drinking. Why? Because they're very, very scared of a crocodile that is staying in that lake. So being scared of that crocodile, the cows are not drinking water. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will go there. And as we all know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has no other weapon. And so what he did was, he just did Sankirtan. Sankirtan, ecstatic Sankirtan. And from the crocodile, now came a Devasisu. Devasisu, Deva is demigod. So a child of a demigod had come. So now he started explaining a story, like how he became a crocodile. So in Satya Yuga, he was cursed by Durvasa Muni. Why? Because Durvasa Muni was resting in Kamyavan, and this child, out of child innocence or child naughtiness, he will cut the locks, his hair of Durvasa Muni, and Durvasa Muni gets mad, and he says that because you behaved like this, you become a crocodile. And but then this child was feeling very, very bad. Then Durvasa Muni will say, okay, you will be as a child, but after 4 yugas, the Lord himself will come in Kali Yuga and he will liberate you. So he will say, I am waiting for you all these yugas in this crocodile body. Now that you have come and you liberated me, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will ask, so what shall we do? What do you want? Like, what do you want to do now? And that Devasisu will express a desire that he wants to go back and see his parents and stay with them in the heavenly planets. So the crocodile will leave, the Devasisu will leave. So this is called as Gaura Daha, because Daha is a lake, and so that lake was delivered from crocodile by Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So the prayer here will be, may the Lord deliver the demon crocodiles in our heart and give us Krishna Prema, because there are a lot of demoniac crocodiles even in our heart. So that should be our prayer here when we come to this Gaura Daha. So this is the last place in Godrumadvip. So this morning I was hearing one lecture, and in that they were saying there are 4 types of devotees, Dhamvasis. You must all be knowing. The first one was who are taking birth in the Dham. Dham, yeah, it could be an animal, a bird, any species, but if they're taking birth in a Dham, they're called as Dhamvasis. Second one is those who leave everything and go and stay in Dham. Third one is who will go once in a while, like yearly once or 2 years once, whenever possible. And fourth one is they don't have a chance to go. They're sitting at their own places, but hearing a lots and lots of katha about that Dham and developing a deep desire to visit that Dham, that burning desire, deep desire. So they are also equivalent to that first class Dhamvasis. They are not the fourth class, because they're staying at one place, hearing about the Dham and developing a deep desire to see. So they are also the first class devotees. And the explanation that was given was during a lecture, when anybody is giving a lecture, what will happen? Even in the yatras or any sessions, we will see people like, they go rush, they just rush because they want to sit in the first line. So those who go first will sit in the first, who go in the second, they'll sit in the second, like that. So those who go late, they will sit behind. But what happened when they're serving prasad, the ones who are sitting behind get the prasad first, because they start from back. It's difficult to cross all the way and start from the first, right? Most of the times they start from the last. So prasadam is like mercy. So those who are in the last get more and more mercy. So the fourth class devotees, like now we are all sitting here and hearing Dham Katha, developing a deep desire to be there sometime, maybe next year or very quickly. So we are also, if we have that deep desire, it is equal to being first class Dhamvasis. Just wanted to share that with you. And we have time, so we will see other the Madhyadvip. It didn't change in my screen. Can you see this new Madhyadvip? It's showing Madhyadvip? I don't know what.
No, Mataji.
Yeah, let me share again.
We're not sharing.
I didn't share?
No, let me help
No. I will do, Jagannath, I will do. I'm sharing, wait. Now it shows. So we started Antardvip, Simantadvip, Godrumadvip. Now we are coming to Madhyadvip. Madhyadvip represents Smaranam, And we will quickly see what Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote in Navadvip Bhavataranga. He said, south of Godruma lies the enchanting island of Madhyadvip. It is very beautiful to behold, like it's filled with radiant series of forests, lots of forest. During midday period of his pastimes, Lord and his associates stroll along this forest, overcoming madness of divine love. While devotees give hints of Krishna's pastimes, Lord Gauranga dances and sings and tastes divine, sweet, ecstatic emotions. When will the devotees who are residents of Madhyadvip be merciful to me and show me? Oh, look, here is our Lord Gauranga, Sri Hari, on the bank of Brahmakunda, within the town of Brahma Nagara, is dancing and chanting with associated with grand kirtan. When will I see that astonishing form of Gaura with a beautiful complexion like pure gold, wearing a garland of forest flowers with two long arms and booming in loud voice? Brothers, all of you, please chant the holy name. So that was the prayer of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He also wants to be here. Chant the names of Gaura Hari, dear brother. Without Gaura, we cannot attain the service of Radha and Krishna. So he said that in Navadvip Bhavataranga, and we will see why this is named as Madhyadvip. So what happened was, yes. So one time the Sapta Rishis, they go to Brahma, and they hear Brahma talking about Gauranga, and then they ask, who is this Gauranga? Then Brahma explains that he's none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what happened? They also had a desire to see him. They also had a desire to worship him. So then they all will come to this place, to this Dvipa, Madhya Dvipa, and they will be, can you not do that? And they will be discussing about and they will discuss Gaura Bhagavatam. All the pastimes of Gauranga, is Aprakata Leela, Prakata Leela, and how the place is very beautiful, how he's going to appear in Jagannath Mishra's house, and how later he will take sannyas and go to Jagannath Puri. So they will be discussing all the pastimes about Gauranga, and they were meditating on these pastimes. So the Lord becomes very ecstatic. The Lord becomes very, very pleased with them, and then he gives his darshan. He appears. And when did he appear? He appeared in Madhyana. Madhyana is afternoon. Madhya. In Telugu also we say Madhyana, afternoon means. So because he appeared in the afternoon, this Dvipa is called as Madhya Dvipa. And Saptarishis, seeing Gauranga Mahaprabhu, like he's so effulgent, and there were Mallika flower garland and his golden complexion, sandalwood on his forehead, Brahmin thread, dhoti was folded 3 times. They were seeing all that, and they were feeling so ecstatic. They were falling up, down again and again, and they were offering their prayers. And they said, to see this beauty, may we have 1,000 eyes. These 2 eyes are not sufficient. And then they were like, they were asking, please bless so that we will get the supreme love. And they said, like, please bless that we will think about you constantly. So they were offering these prayers. And then Lord said, okay, like Lord said, he blessed them, and then he left this place. And then they were feeling very like in that ecstatic mood. They were feeling very separation after seeing Lord Gauranga. And when he left after blessing them, they were feeling separated, and they still didn't leave this place. They were sitting here, and they are discussing about Gaura Bhagavatam even till today. And they like Namahatta, they also kept a marketplace, like a hatta of discussing Gauranga Mahaprabhu's pastimes. This is also called as Saptarishi Ghat or Kumara Hatta. So that's why, that is the history of why the name Madhya Dvip had come. And there is Naimisharanya also here. If you remember, sorry for the spelling mistake. Most of the slides I do it in the night. So maybe half time I'm dozing of little mistakes. So as we have discussed in the beginning, here we have all the dhams, all the holy places also reside here. So the Naimisharanya is also here. So what happened? Lord Shiva actually visits this place. So this is towards the south of Madhyadvip. There is Gomati river, and Naimisharanya is on the bank of this Gomati river. So when Kali became very powerful, all the rishis were sitting here, and they were discussing at the beginning of Kali Yuga, they were discussing Gaura Bhagavatam from Suta Goswami. So what happened? Lord Shiva He gets very ecstatic whenever the names of Lord are taken. We have seen many pastimes, like he tastes a morsel of prasadam from Narada Muni and he becomes so ecstatic and dancing. He was so dancing in ecstasy that the demigod has to come and ask Parvati to stop him. So he gets very ecstatic when he hears the names of the Lord. So what he will do, he wanted to come and attend that katha. But he was coming on a bull and Nandi bull was coming very slow. He was asking, like, go fast, but the bull was not going fast. Then what did he do? He went to Brahma and he took the Brahma's Vahana. Brahma's vehicle was swan. So he took the vehicle of Brahma and he started coming on that swan because birds fly very fast. So he started coming on the swan and he came here to hear the Gaura Katha. And actually it is said during Kartik, if you hear the katha here, we will be free from all the sufferings and we will get Vraja Prema. So because Shiva came on Hamsa Vahana, there is also a temple called Hamsa Vahana, which we will be seeing next. So he came to Naimisharanya. So this is the Hamsa Vahana temple in Navadvip. So this temple and this deity is dedicated to Lord Shiva. And actually the speciality of this deity, this is the deity. This is Lord Shiva. He's Lord Shiva. So what happens was this deity actually only 3 days in a year they will bring out him inside. The deity used to be in Gomati river, placed in water. But now they brought him back. The deity is now inside the temple only because it was stolen. Then they felt it. Some Muslims stole, thinking that they can sell and make money, but they found it later. Then they thought it's not safe. From then on, they started keeping him inside, but otherwise he's always in water. Why he is in water? Because he's always very hot. Because he has a burning desire for Krishna, his katha. So because of that burning desire, he develops a lot of heat in his body. To cool him down, they keep him in Gomati river. But now after the stealing has happened, they brought him back. And then only that the 3 days that they would bring him inside was during a month of Chaitra, that full moon time in the month of Chaitra, they would bring him here, but not anymore. Now he's inside always. And 50,000 devotees come here and they celebrate Gaura Purnima for 3 weeks. See, this is his grace, Pankajangri Prabhu. He actually, Hamsa Vahana deity also visited our Mayapur Chandrodaya temple. So this is the deity. And then we will come to this interesting place. So in Rajasthan, near Ajmer, we know that Pushkara Tirtha, it's very, very famous. And they said, if I'm not wrong, I think they believe that it's the most holiest place. So that Pushkara Tirtha is also here in Navadvip, in Madhyadvip. That place is called Brahmana Pushkara or Brahmanapura. So we'll see a brief history of the Pushkara Tirtha in Rajasthan. So, and then we will come back to this, because I think most of us don't know about Pushkara Tirtha. So what happened was, one time Lord Brahma, he wanted to have a place on earth that is exclusively dedicated to him. So what he does, he takes a lotus flower and he takes 3 petals and he just, throws like that just to see where the 3 petals are landing. So the first petal landed here at Pushkara Tirtha, and so he chose this place. He'll come here, and the 3 places is called like Jeshta as the first, Madhya as the second, Kanishta as the last. So Jeshta Pushkara, Madhya Pushkara, Kanishta Pushkara, 3 different places. I don't remember the other 2 holy places where it fell. Maybe I will tell you next island. The other 2 are also holy places, the other 2 petals. I don't remember. But yes, so the first flower, the first petal fell here. It's Pushkara Tirtha. Then it's called Pushkara because Kara is hand, Pushpa is flower. So from Brahma's hand, the Pushpa fell here. So it's called Pushkara Tirtha. So this is the place. And in Mahabharata, Bhishma, actually the grandfather of Pandavas, he describes the glories of many tirthas. And he says that the sage Pulatsya Muni, he mentions Pushkara Tirtha first. It's a first amongst all the tirthas. He says that Pushkara is the famous throughout the universe, and that anyone who goes there becomes as exalted as Lord Brahma. Pulatsya says one's sins are cleansed by just thinking of Pushkara. Amongst various blessings obtained by bathing at Pushkara, one may be elevated to heavenly planets. So just by seeing, the sins are eradicated. So what happens? The demigods complain. So if this is made so easy, like if the people can just think and get free from their sins, they become very lazy. They would neglect the religious duties, and they will become lot of like irreligion will happen. So please, they will say like you have to do something. So then they made little bit changes, alterations, and they said, okay, the boon of elevation to the heaven or getting free from sins will happen when we bathe at Pushkara would be only on the last 5 days of Kartik. Only if one who is bathing on the last 5 days of Kartik, thinking, bathing, coming to this place, then they will be elevated to heavenly planets, or they will also get freed from the sins. So here what happened was that Brahma was performing a sacrifice. He said in Padma Puran, and he went to this place and he was doing a sacrifice. And in that sacrifice, in that yagya, his wife has to be there with him. So he will send Narada Muni, I think. Yeah, but Narada Muni to bring his wife, Parvati. But, sorry, Saraswati. I'm so sorry. Yeah, thank you. So Saraswati. But Saraswati got little late, but the yagya time has started. So they have to start. They cannot do any changes or waiting. So according to astrological calculations, it was the time to start the yagya, and Saraswati didn't come. So what happened was all the demigods, they will do some calculations, and then they will try to bring a suitable wife for Brahma. And then Indra chooses a cowherd girl. So then they'll bring the cowherd girl, and then they thought if they have to sit in the sacrifice, she has to definitely be a Brahman. So then they will purify her. They will send her in cow's mouth. So it's a big process. So they do that, and then they bring her out because cow is the most purest. They put her inside the cow's mouth and take her out, and then they purify her. Then she becomes Brahmana and she's eligible to sit. Now she sits. Her name was Gayatri. So Gayatri is one who is pulled through a cow. So then she sits in the yagya. Then Saraswati comes, and when Saraswati comes, she sees and she gets very angry, and she curses. She says that nobody will worship you. Like you will not have any specific like that's why we don't see any Brahma temple anywhere. But except Pushkara Tirtha, he's like his temple is not there anywhere. So then, but Gayatri adjusts the curses. She says that she says that, yeah, what is that I wanted to, yeah, but Gayatri adjusted the curse, and she says Saraswati has cursed Brahma that he would be worshipped only on a full moon day of the month of Kartika. Gayatri said whoever worshipped Brahma would be blessed with wealth and a good family and would be reunited with Brahma. So Gayatri says that she makes little amendment. Changes. So now that's why if you go to this Pushkara Tirtha, you will see the temple of Saraswati is there. Saraswati leaves the place after hearing this. So Saraswati temple is there, Gayatri temple is there, and Saraswati in this Pushkara Tirtha, she flows in 5 branches like Saraswati, Supapra, Chandra, Kanaka, and Nanda. 5 branches. But now to our ordinary eyes, it's said that we cannot see those 5 branches, but actually the 5 branches are still there. So that is the brief history of Pushkara Tirtha in Rajasthan. And they celebrate Camel Festival every year for, I think it's a very big festival for 5 days in the month of Kartik. They do that. So, yes. So now we'll see the story, how it is there in Navadvip, Madhyadvip. So in Satyuga, there was one Brahmana called Divadisa Brahmana. So he left his family and he traveled. He wanted to see the holy places. So he kept on traveling. On the way, he came to Navadvip, and some voice told him that stay here. He instructed. So he stayed there. He built a kutir, and he was doing his bhajan, and he became old. Then he developed a desire to see Pushkara Tirtha, and he began to cry. That time, then also he developed and he started crying. And then Pushkara Raja, like he's the He is the king, like he's Pushkaratita manifested as Pushkara Raja, and he came in front of the Brahmana, and then he will say like, see, the Pushkaratita is right in front of you. See, it's here. Why are you crying? This is Pushkaratita. And Devadasa had the darshan then, but immediately he'll start crying. Oh, because of me, you took trouble to come all the way from Pushkaratita. You came here, and he starts crying. I troubled you. I troubled you. But Pushkaratita says, no, no, you didn't trouble me. I am already here. I expanded from here to there in Rajasthan. I was actually here. So that's what he says. And then, so that tells us that Pushkar, like all the, we have just seen and we heard that all the holy places are here. So Pushkaratita also confirmed, saying that he was here and he expanded there. So if we are here, like if we do bhajan at this place, even one night, it's equal to doing 100 nights, 100 times of bhajan, Gaura bhajan. So that is Brahmana Pushkara. So then we'll come to Uncha Hatta. So this place is non-different from Kurukshetra of Brahmavarta. So Brahmavarta is that tract where the gods, the demigods made this tract in between the river Saraswati and Drishadvati. In like that tract in between these two rivers is called as Brahmavarta in Kurukshetra. So this is non-different from that place. I don't know much about Brahmavarta, but I heard it is a very holy place and there is a lot of mode of goodness. I don't know much about that place, but it is equal to that. And this is right next to Pushkara Tirtha. So this is the place where demigods come, and then they loudly sing the glories of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and they worship him here. And they do Gaura Katha and Hatta. They have a marketplace here also, the demigods, where they keep reciting the holy names. And Unch is like height, like little bit raised. So this little bit raised place, the place is little bit raised than the other places. So that's why it's called as Uncha Hatta. And even like 100 years of, if we do at this place one night, same like the previous place, we get the benefit of doing it for 100 years. The Gaura Katha, Gaura Bhajana, holy name. And then from here in Navadvip Mahatmya, this is mentioned, the Lord visited a place called Maha Prayag and the Panchaveni Tirtha. He crossed Sri Ganga Devi and entered Koladvip. So from Uncha Hatta, he's going to Maha Prayag. So this is Panchaveni. So Panchaveni is Prayag, like is 3 rivers are joining, confluence of 3 rivers, but Panchaveni is 5 rivers. So there are 3 streams of Ganga, Alakananda, Mandakini, Bhagirathi, and then Yamuna and Saraswati are also meeting. So Lord Gaurahari used to come with his associates, and then they used to do bathing here because a lot of people in Kali Yuga come, take bath, and then the Panchaveni becomes, all the sins are taken by Panchaveni. So when Gauranga Mahaprabhu bathes with his associates, basically he's removing all the sins left by the Kali Yuga people in Panchaveni. And all the rishis say that this place is incomparable to, on the 14 worlds, there is no other place than Panchaveni. Vedavyas and all the assembled rishis are saying that, and Mansi Ganga is also flowing here, and anybody who takes bath here will never take birth again in this material world. So that is Panchaveni, which is called as Mahaprayag. That is also there in Madhyadvip. So that's the last place that we are seeing in Madhyadvip today. And if you all can stay for 10 minutes back, we will see some videos of various places. And thank you all so much. Navadvip Mandal Parikrama ki jai, all the assembled devotees ki jai.
Jai. Thank you so much, Padmasakhi Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Wonderful.
Shri Padmasakhi, koti koti